Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is February 2nd, 2023. Now, we did a live stream, I think was the day before yesterday, and we spoke about the Super Bowl, and we tried to during the live stream, we was trying to figure out who's going to win. At the beginning of the video, I said, I like the Eagles. Then in the end of the video, I said I like the Chiefs. What I think you guys should do is wait until February 12th to make your bet. Don't make your bet until February 12th. Because what I've been doing, I'm going to just continue to do some more research until I feel 100% sure on who I'm telling you guys to bet on. Because the more stuff I find, the more it makes me want to lean on the Philadelphia Eagles. I think we are overlooking the obvious, which is the Eagles winning the Super Bowl on Abraham Lincoln's birthday, the team that plays at the Lincoln Financial Field. I think that is the most surface and the most obvious riddle, and we are digging for stuff that we don't have to dig. This stuff is really simple. The Eagles win on Lincoln's birthday, the team that plays at the Lincoln Financial Field, and Lincoln Financial Field is 103. And they can win the Super Bowl in the 103rd NFL season. That is the most simple stuff. The most surface riddle, and I think the more we dig, the more we're going to look for things that we don't need to look for because the answer is right in front of our face. But let me show you guys this article that I came across when I was trying to figure out who's really going to win this game because, the numbers are on both sides. If you guys saw the other video that we made, you can make a case for the Chiefs, you can make a case for the Eagles, but you can't bet on both teams, right? So only one of these two teams are going to win. But this is an article that came out on the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's death, January 26th. This was before the Chiefs beat the Bengals. It says here that another AFC championship loss in the Chiefs' run will begin to resemble the Pistons of the 2000s. If you guys remember, the Detroit Pistons was one of the most dominant basketball teams in the early 2000s, right? They used to go to the finals almost every year. They was always in the Eastern Conference Finals, but they only won one championship. And that reminds me of the Kansas City Chiefs, right? A real dominant team in the NFL, but yet they only have one championship. And I think that's what Andy Reid's legacy is all about. Andy Reid is like he's not quite Bill Belichick. He's like a coach that just can't get over the hump. I mean, he did the same thing with the Eagles. He took the Eagles to 4 straight championship games, but never got them to that Super Bowl. They never got that Super Bowl ring for the Eagles, and I think that's what his legacy is all about. He's like the Chris Paul of coaching, right? Chris Paul just never a really good basketball player who just never was able to win the championship. I think that's what Andy Reid's legacy is all about. So I think we are being misled by Patrick Mahomes' greatness, but we are overlooking that Andy Reid is a loser. He's a loser. He's not meant to win in the championship game. He's one of those coaches that just has a really good season, has a really good playoffs, but can't get that trophy. And he only has one. And I think that's why this article is reminding us of the Detroit Pistons. And, the reason I came across this article is because you guys should know about Rasheed Wallace. But I don't know if you guys are familiar that he's actually a Kansas City Chiefs fan, right? But what's ironic about this is that the guy was born and raised in Philadelphia, Rasheed Wallace. If you notice what it says here, Rasheed Wallace, proud son of Philadelphia, is a Chiefs fan, 1,000%. And I'm thinking this is all part of the riddle, right? The guy who played for the Pistons, the team that was almost a dynasty, but couldn't really win all the championships that they deserved to win. Because if you guys remember the Detroit Pistons, they were supposed to win way more than just one championship. This team was always competing for the championship, but they only got one ring. They lost to the Spurs, and I don't think they made it to more than 2 finals. I think they only made it to 2 finals. They beat the Lakers and they lost to the Spurs, and they kept losing in the championship round. And then just think about how ironic is this. this is, right? Rasheed Wallace, the guy from Philadelphia, is rooting for the Chiefs, the team that appears to be a dynasty, like his Pistons were. Like his Pistons were the closest thing to a dynasty, but they couldn't win the championships like the Lakers and the Spurs. See, the Lakers and Spurs were a dynasty, right? The Patriots was a dynasty in football. The Kansas City Chiefs are the Pistons. They're a team that looks like they're a dynasty, but they're really not. They're just competing every year, but they don't win any championship. And we saw this in Super Bowl 55 when Patrick Mahomes lost to Tom Brady. Speaking of Super Bowl 55, you guys remember who was the referee in that game? It was this guy right here, Carl Schaefer's. So look at the mockery. They are having the same referee at Super Bowl 57 that refereed Super Bowl 55. And this guy has a history. If you guys are a Kansas City Chiefs fan, then you should know all about this. This guy has a history of calling bad penalties on the Kansas City Chiefs. There's a lot of articles on this guy and how he has his personal vendetta against the Kansas City Chiefs. So this is not the right guy you want to have refereeing the game if you're expecting to win the Super Bowl, if you're a Kansas City Chiefs player or a coach. And I'm going to show you guys some gematria. This guy's name is scaring the shit out of me. Remember what we said about Patrick Mahomes being 10-3 in the playoffs? Look at this guy's name. The guy's name is 104. He has the 104 in his name. Like how Patrick Mahomes can fall to 10-4 in the postseason if he loses in the Super Bowl under Carl Schaefer's. And remember who else's name is 104, right? Nick Sirianni, his full name is 104 as well. Patrick Mahomes right now, he is 10-3 in the postseason. There it is. We spoke about how Eagles 113. That's why I'm saying that this stuff is it's tight. It's a tight riddle. But right now, Patrick Mahomes is 10-3 in the 103rd NFL season. If he loses, he'll be 10-4. And this is the guy refereeing the game. It's Carl Schaefer's. This is the guy who's also refereeing the game during Super Bowl 55. But look, going back to Rasheed Wallace, right? The guy from Philadelphia who's supposed to be a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Notice his birthday, September 17th. Whose birthday is that? Patrick Mahomes. So how ironic for Patrick Mahomes and Rasheed Wallace to have the same birthday. Right? The biggest flop in NBA history, the Detroit Pistons. Such a dominant team that only won one championship, just like the Kansas City Chiefs. The biggest flop and probably this is going to be the biggest flop in NFL history. One of the most dominant quarterbacks, one of the greatest teams that just couldn't win more than one Super Bowl. And it's all Andy Reid's fault because Andy Reid is a loser. I think that's what the big riddle is. They're going to shame Andy Reid in the Super Bowl. But like I said, there's numbers on both sides. I hate that I have to keep coming back on here, changing my pick every video. But this is why I was so nervous. In that other video, if you guys heard what I was saying, I was just like, man, this is tight. This is tight. Oh my God, this is hard. This is difficult. I had the people call in, try to help me out with this one because this is one of the toughest ones. Last year wasn't that tough, but the years prior, it's been. I mean, this is the toughest one. But I think that's what Andy Reid's legacy is about. He's not a winner. He's not a winner. He wasn't a winner in Philly, and he's not going to be a winner in Kansas City. And if you think about it, he had great quarterbacks in Philadelphia. There was no reason for him not to win there. But the Donovan McNabbs, I think the Michael Vicks, the guy just doesn't win. He did win one with Kansas City, but that's just, I think that's the connection with the Detroit Pistons, the team from the 42nd parallel. So I think I started reading this and then I stopped. So it says here that another AFC Championship loss and the Chiefs' run will begin to resemble the Pistons of the 2000s. Lots of conference finals appearances, but lots of L's past that point. And again, this article came out before the Chiefs beat the Bengals. So this article is going to be talking about how if the Chiefs don't beat the Bengals, they're going to be like the Pistons. But I think if the Chiefs don't beat the Eagles, they're going to be like the Pistons. And I think that the Chiefs are not going to beat the Eagles. I think that, like I said in the beginning, I think the obvious riddle is the team from the Lincoln Financial Field wins the Super Bowl on Abraham Lincoln's birthday. The most obvious stuff. You know? When you start digging for more things, you dig yourself into a hole. Over the last 5 years, the Kansas City Chiefs have been the closest thing we've seen to a dynasty in the NFL. Having won only one Super Bowl, the clock is ticking on their opportunity to claim the dynasty title. Playing in 5 consecutive AFC title games and it's an accomplishment, but bringing home just one Vince Lombardi trophy is strikingly reminiscent of another almost mini dynasty team in another sport, the Detroit Pistons. And notice what this guy's tweeted. Andy Reid has led the Chiefs to 5 consecutive AFC championship games with Patrick Mahomes after taking the Eagles to 4 straight NFC title games with Donovan McNabb. That's some body of work. Yeah, this is history repeating itself. The same thing he did with the Eagles, he's doing with the Chiefs. He took the Eagles to 4 straight NFC title games with Donovan McNabb and couldn't win the ring. Same thing he's doing here in Kansas City. Taking the Chiefs to 5 consecutive AFC championship games with Patrick Mahomes and not winning the title. History repeating itself. Andy Reid is a loser. The NBA's Detroit Pistons of the 2000s, led by Ben Wallace, Richard Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace. Of course, they're going to underline Rasheed Wallace's name because he's a big part of this riddle. That's why the guy is from Philadelphia, has the same birthday as Patrick Mahomes, and is a Kansas City Chiefs fan out of nowhere. Like, how can you be from Philadelphia and root for the Chiefs? Like, that is blasphemy. Okay, so it's led by Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Richard Hamilton, and Chauncey Billups. Were mainstays in the Eastern Conference Finals between 2003 and 2008. Detroit advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals 6 years in a row. Think about that. They go to the Eastern Conference Finals 6 years in a row and only win one NBA championship. I mean, that is a flop. That is very similar to the Kansas City Chiefs. That was something that hadn't really been done by an NBA franchise with no superstar. In the end, like Kansas City, Detroit brought back one Larry O'Brien to Motown. Same but different. While the Chiefs and Pistons play vastly different sports and were built with contrasting styles, their journeys to winning are quite similar. Andy Reid's Chiefs went to their first AFC title game during the 18 campaign and lost to New England. KC followed that up by making a run to the next 2 Super Bowls, winning the first over San Francisco and losing the second to Tampa Bay. They advanced to 2 more conference championship games since then, including their upcoming matchup with Cincinnati in this year's AFC title game. Detroit's run breaks down pretty much the same way. The Pistons made it to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 2002-2003 season, losing to the New Jersey Nets. The next year, Detroit got over the hump, upsetting the Los Angeles Lakers, led by Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, in 5 games in the NBA Finals. That was followed up by another finals appearance where the Pistons lost to the San Antonio Spurs in 7 games. After that, Detroit returned to 3 straight Eastern Conference Finals, but never played in another NBA Finals. Dynasty or bust. Yep. That's what this is all about. The Chiefs are a bust. They look like a dynasty on the surface, but they're really not. All right. If the Chiefs lose to the Bengals again on Sunday, which it didn't happen, but I think they are gonna lose to the Eagles though. and failed to make it back to the Super Bowl, this could be the fate of this team very soon. The most significant difference aside from the sport is the Chiefs have the biggest superstar in football leading their team. And that's what will make this run even more wasteful if they can't squeeze another Super Bowl victory out of this dominant run. Having a generational talent like Patrick Mahomes and only winning one ring in a 5 or 6 year span should be criminal. All right. Let me see what else they talk about. After the first one, for the first Chiefs, Sunday is a must win. Okay. So they talk about how they have to beat the Bengals. Again, Rasheed Wallace, born in Philadelphia, rooting for the Chiefs. This was one of the big players in their Detroit Pistons franchise. Same birthday as Patrick Mahomes. Like I said, if you guys want to wait until the day of the Super Bowl to make your pick, that's what I recommend. Because I'm going to continue doing the research, but, this shit is scary as fuck, man. The referee, the 104 name, referee and Patrick Mahomes is not a good look. That is not a good look. And having Andy Reid as your coach is not a good look either. How you don't win the Super Bowl with that Eagles franchise? We get it. It's all rigged and scripted. I get it, but I'm just saying, like, they clearly shamed them in Philly. I remember that. I remember them years. Donovan McNabb was like the greatest thing in football. He was the Patrick Mahomes of today. And then on top of that, I think he had Michael Vick too. He had Michael Vick in his prime. Couldn't do it. It says here that they need another Super Bowl now because the Chiefs are the only team with a dynasty hanging in the balance. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to take a look at the chat before we end it. And like I said, I'm going to be updating this stuff. But notice Nicholas John Sirianni is also 104 like Carl Schaefer's. This is the opposing coach, and this is the referee in charge of the game. And the star player, the best player on the field, is 10-3 in the playoffs. I spoke about all this stuff in my other video. The stuff that complements the Chiefs, but I think we are overlooking the most obvious. And the Chiefs, the Chiefs can pick up that 22nd postseason loss. Eagles is 22. There's something about 1922 that I'm not connecting. I'm pretty sure there's a connection with that number and Abraham Lincoln. Because if the Chiefs lose, they'll be 19-22 in the postseason. And that looks like a lot like the year 1922. So I was trying to see if there was any 1922 synchronicity with Abe Lincoln. I did find something, but I don't think that's relevant. It was Abraham Lincoln and the Negro. Yeah. Carl Schaefer's full start, Kansas City offense. I can already see it. Pass interference, defense, Spotted the foul. Automatic first down. Chiefs is getting bullshit calls. I could already see it. I already see it. Oh, and this is something that I posted on my community tab. The last time these two teams played was on October 3rd, 2021, on 10-3. And this year they could close out the 103rd NFL season playing each other again. And notice the score of the game, 42-30. Like how the N-word is 42-30, slavery is 42-30. This game was 71 weeks before the Super Bowl. African American is 71. But look at the shaming, man. 42-30, man. The two black quarterbacks. So let me look at the chat and then we can probably close it out. Maybe he wasn't as good as Patrick Mahomes, but there wasn't another black quarterback as good as him during those times. So that's what I mean when I say he was the Patrick Mahomes of today. Can you name another black quarterback better than Donovan McNabb in those times? There wasn't. He was the best black quarterback in that era. Yeah, I don't really care about looking good. I don't really care about that. I don't have nothing to prove. I mean, like, I don't care. If you guys don't want to, like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, how many championships do we need to continue to? I mean, we called this matchup in October. So, whether we get it right or wrong, I don't have anything to prove anymore. How many people had the Eagles playing the Chiefs in October? So, this is not about, oh, you got it wrong. I don't care about that. A lot of people in this community are scared to make picks because of the reaction that they get when they're wrong. That's why when you ask these people, who do you have? They don't want to tell you because they're scared. They're scared to be wrong. I'm not scared to be wrong. I've been wrong before. But I'm always going to make a pick. That's the difference between me and a lot of people. I've been wrong, and I'm going to be wrong in the future. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did see that. The guy that got arrested for rape, his name is 57. Yeah, I just think I think the Chiefs are like a bait, like, but what is the reason for them not to win? Why they only have 1-1? I mean, they clearly have the best quarterback in the league, arguably. They have a decent head coach, right? There's no reason this team only has one Super Bowl championship. Yeah, the 113 is important. That is the Kobe Bryant number, but Kobe Bryant's from Philadelphia. And he was an Eagles fan. Yeah, Mike Vick was not better than Donovan McNabb. Maybe, he was more athletic, but Donovan McNabb. I know it was a long time ago, but now Donovan McNabb was really, really dominant. He had a better arm. He was just better. Yeah, so you guys, I mean, like I said, you can wait until the Super Bowl, but I think we are overlooking the simple stuff. Abraham Lincoln's birthday, Lincoln Financial Field. That is just, the simple stuff. Carl Schaefer's 104. So Dave said he played against Donovan McNabb in high school. Wow. Thanks a lot, Randy. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys want to call in, I'm gonna put the number on the screen. So I want to share your thoughts about this observation about, are the Chiefs the new Pistons? Are they a dynasty, or are they a bust? Dynasty or bust for the Chiefs? Because that's what it's looking like. It looks like Andy Reid is just, and it was I think there was a coach in the NBA that was just like that as well. I think he was a 76ers coach. I forgot his name, but there was a Philadelphia coach that he just couldn't win. He'll compete every year, but I think he was Iverson's coach. Yeah, both graduated in '94. That's very interesting, man. It would have been great if you would have kept in contact with him, and then see if he wanted to talk about something like Rick Sports. See what you could get out of him. Maybe a private conversation, because I don't think he would have publicly admitted anything. But yeah, so the phone number is on the screen, 646-986-0958 if you guys want to call in. Otherwise, we can close it out. Yeah, that's what I mean. The more you look, you're going to find numbers for both sides. Like somebody can say, 113, 104, But you have to, sometimes you have to put the numbers to the side and just say, what is the big theme, right? What is the big theme? What are they going to be talking about after the game is over? They're not going to be talking about the numbers, right? What is ESPN going to be? What are the talking points in these talk shows? They're going to be talking about Andy Reid and this team not being a dynasty. That's what the discussion is going to be after the game is over. Nobody's going to be discussing numbers, because they don't talk about numbers at ESPN or any of the other networks. They're going to be talking about how Andy Reid is repeating history again, because he can't win Mahomes just like he couldn't win with Donovan McNabb. Blah blah blah. That's what the conversation is going to be on all these radio shows. Okay, so the person that just said that, a person texted me saying that they bought my book. If you can text me your email address, I'll send it to you, because I don't know why Etsy, you were supposed to download it. Once you buy from Etsy, it downloads right away. So, all right. So since nobody wants to call in, we can end it there. Like I said, wait till February 12th, you guys, to better place your bets, because the more I look, I do think it's going to be Philadelphia. I think Ocho from the Ocho was right about that. Ocho from the Ocho has been telling me about Eagles, and I've been overlooking it, but I think he's right. So I might go out there to Philly, Ocho, if they do win, and I might pound some pavement at the parade, because I'm pretty close to Philly. Might pound some pavement at the Lincoln Financial Field. All right, but you guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Peace.